Today I'm going to show you how I have put a electric Scotty downrigger on my Hobie Outback. Here you can see I've got the downrigger mounted on the side, and then much like I did with the other downriggers that I've shown in previous videos, I've got this one facing towards the back so that the boom ends up right next to the seat, so that I don't have to lean very far at all to grab the ball and get it up. And then you can see I have the only place I found that I could put the power receptacle was right here. So you can see I've got that in there, which isn't ideal because the plug's gonna kind of stick out this way. I can pull the cable kind of back like that. It's not in the way of the pedals, but if I ever want to rest my feet on here and not on the pedals, it's going to be in the way. But I found there's not really any other places along the boat here that you can stick it in there, because this thing sticks into the boat by about that much. So, you know, some of the places like over here, you don't actually have that much room there. It would have worked here, but this is under the seat, so if you lay the seat down or put the seat down at the lowest level, it would be hitting the cable. And then could have done it back here, but I was going to have to then extend the cable on the downrigger, and I really didn't feel like doing that, and run the cable along the outside of the boat there. I did try using was going to try and put it in here, but again, if you look down on this side, it's only this thick, so it would have just fit, and I didn't have enough room to get the wires out. So another one would have been okay if I put it here, coming out here, but the problem is this is angling down, and then you know, when you have the plug in there, it would be angling down that way as well, so if water was coming over and getting into it, it wouldn't drain out. Whereas here, if at least it gets in, there's a little hole there that'll drain out. And here you can see if I've made a little mark so I know which side of the plug to put in there. But I can just plug it in here, give it a turn, and then it's locked in. And I can just sort of shove this down in here, put it in the... It's hard to do one-handed, but shove it down in here. And it's mostly out of the way, not too bad. So I'll pull that out, and I'll show you the mounting plate I made. I just actually reused the one from the Scotty 1060 that I had mounted on actually this boat, as well as the Pro Angler over there. All right, here, so it's just like the regular Scotties, which will pivot up like this, which is unlike the other one. The Scotty 1060 actually uses a mount that looks like this, which you slide into it, so I couldn't reuse that for this. The next one up, the 1080, actually uses the same mount as this one here. So to get it out, you just undo this thing here. Pull that out. Lift this out and then lift it off. Okay, I don't have the fourth one in here. I got to find it, but you can see just the marine board I used here. It's just 3/4 inch thick, pretty simple. And then I've got the Scotty mount bolted in there. And then all I did was just recess the nuts on the underside for both these 4 screws, as well. Well, actually, these don't need it because they're the T-nuts that lock into the track, and then it gives it a lot of rigidity. You can lift the whole kayak by that. All right. Oh, and then so the wire runs in back in there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I'm just using 12 gauge wire. Scotty recommends 10, or in some places I saw you could use 12 if you're running less than 25 feet of wire. So I went ahead and just used 12 gauge. And I've got it mounted in the back here where the battery, and I'm just using a Dakota Lithium 10 amp hour battery. I didn't think that was going to be enough at first, but I talked to Dakota and did some math based on the specs for the battery and the specs for the downrigger. This downrigger with an 8-pound ball, which is what I'll be using most of the time, pulls about 4.5 amps, and then which this can easily do, and then it does about 200 feet a minute. So 30-second pulls. I was guesstimating from about 100 feet down. I should get something between 180 and 220 pulls off of this battery, which is way more than I need, but better too much than too little. And then we just have the inline fuse there, 30 amp inline fuse, and yeah, just run the batteries back here. All right, now I got it put back on and plugged in. I'm going to give it a quick test. It's a little sketchy because all I'm doing is pulling the ball from laying on the floor over there, so it comes in I think probably pretty quick and probably make a big bang, but let's see how it goes. Actually, that wasn't too bad. Still slamming around, but yeah, it works good. All right, we're going to give this another try. I've got the 8-pound ball down over here, and then the beads that cause it to stop motion or stop coming in a little far up the line, just so things don't smack the side of the boat. But we'll give it a try here and see how it works. And there it goes. It stopped automatically. Great. So that looks like it's going to work out well. So I hope I can get it out on the water soon, give it a try in a real environment, and see how it works. Balance should be okay. The downrigger itself isn't really that much heavier than my Scotty 1060. A little bit, obviously, but I think more 4 pounds, something like that, which that one worked fine. So I think balance and everything should be okay. One thing I am going to have to look into, oh, it's scraped up my ball over there. Well, one thing I am going to have to look into, when I was running the 8-pound ball on the Outback here with the Scotty, the manual 1060, if I was going under 1.5 miles an hour, the boat was wanting to rotate around the ball, even with the rudder cranked all the way over. So I might have to look at getting one of those aluminum rudders to hopefully help with that a little bit. But we'll have to, that'll be for a different video.